My name's Nick Cobcroft. We're at just out of Young in New South Wales. I am an 8th generation Aussie farmer. I left school and went straight back to the family farm, so I've been involved for the last 25 years. We run primarily a grazing operation. We've got fat lambs and beef cattle. So at the moment we've got about 500 cows on. We've been in Young for 15 years. We had a set of cattle yards that we inherited with the place. They were an old timber set, and it was a tough chore. No one actually really liked getting cattle in and going and doing work when you didn't actually have to. You know, they weren't easy to flow in. There were a lot of panels starting to rot and break and all those things. I think they were probably 30, 35 years old, and yeah, they'd had their day. If we were pre-testing or weighing cattle, we didn't weigh as often as we'd like because it was a task. It wasn't enjoyable to go and do. It took us a lot longer to do anything or process cattle than it does through this system. We did set up the auto draft here a month ago, and we ran some steers through very, very quickly, and it was, you know, probably a third of the time that it would have taken us through the old yards. Because we've got the guys here, we still have the same amount of people up here, but it's a lot quicker and it's a lot easier. We don't have anyone sort of in a position where they can get hurt because they're having to get in with cattle to push cattle, and it just seems to flow. I first heard of you guys about 6 months before. We were watching the State of Origin, and there'd been a lot of family discussions about the fact that we really did need a new set of cattle yards. I wouldn't let my kids go up and work in the old cattle yards because they really were falling down a little bit, but they just weren't great and safe yards. So after a lot of discussions, we were watching the State of Origin, and my 11-year-old daughter turned around and said, "Dad, this is what we need." So we started looking into cattle yards. We looked at a lot of sets of cattle yards. We went to AgQuip and just looked at everything that was there. I liked the design. I found the team really easy to work with as far as designing something that we needed. I think the quality of the workmanship is great. When you have a look at any of the stuff on the crush or the yards, it's all welded well. It's all done really well. Yeah, it came down to what the product was, and I guess compared to some of the competitors, it is very price competitive. The rotary tub is a really good, easy system rather than trying to get in and force cattle up into a race. I've always had a curved race in the past, but never actually a U-shaped race, and the cattle seem to flow fairly well. We've used the auto draft a few times now on the scales and through the crush, and it works an absolute treat. It is easy to catch cows in particular, in the head bale. It's a great system. If anyone's looking to purchase a set of yards, I would definitely come to ClipX and have a look. The advice would be to make sure that you work in with the guys at ClipX to make sure your site plans and everything are right. So when we first started looking into all the various yards and designs and manufacturers and those types of things, a lot of people said you can't get the ClipX stuff, it's all made in China. And we looked into it, and I've got a friend who employs quite a few boilermakers. He bought a set of yards, and he told me that he couldn't find a problem with any of the welds. Everything was great. And I think there's a fear that people have that just because it's made in China, it's not going to last, or the welds are going to be dodgy, or any of those types of things. And in actual fact, these yards appear to be built really well. We're really happy with the way they've come up, and yeah, the workmanship seems to be spot on.